Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Guapish Rule 34. However, I have a special announcement. We are now no longer a podcast. Instead, we are going to be transitioning over exclusively Roblox content, as well as occasional vlogs where we cry in public. As always, I'm your host, Nico, and today I am being joined by special guest, Tanner.
What's up, guys? Let's whip those nays, or whatever the fuck the Roblox kids are doing.
And, of course, joining us today is also going to be Jackson, who's going to be telling us his top 10 favorite things about the Muslim faith.
I have no things I like about the Muslim faith. Just kidding. I'm a big fan of that big cube that they like to walk around. And that occupies the entire top 10 list, to be honest.
1 through 10, I like the cube. It's pretty sweet. Jackson, do you know what the name of that cube is?
Why would I know the name of that cube?
Fair enough, I suppose. Now, Jackson, I actually do have a topic here for you today, my man.
Lay it on me.
More so for Tanner as well. So, Tanner, I don't know if you're aware of this, but recently they released a new League of Legends character who Jackson's just been fawning over since day one.
What, the dog one?
No. Yeah, no. I actually don't think she's available quite yet.
I think I know you're fucking talking about.
We have seen her splash art, however, and Jackson's just been going crazy for it. Tanner, let me send this on into the general so you can check her out here.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I actually have not been keeping up with the League news at all. The last one I saw was that fucking knife dog.
I honestly didn't even know this chick was from League, but I've seen this image many times on Twitter.
Interesting.
There she is, Tanner. What do you think?
Oh. You know, I was kind of, you know, at least curious about it, but then I saw that they gave her exposed toes, and that kind of turned me off immediately, to be honest.
Now you understand why Jackson's so into her. So, this is
I got my cock out right now.
Yes, Briar. She's the brand new League of Legends character, and there's been a bit of controversy over her ever since she was initially revealed.
Does the controversy have to do with the exposed toes?
That is one of them, yes. Yes, as you can see in this image, which I will definitely be throwing up on screen here, Briar has her feet exposed quite a decent bit, you know. She's got them toes going. She actually has, like, those wrap things where we talked about, like, in, like, clothing that we really like, that we think is pretty hot. I'm pretty into that stuff, honestly. However, her toes are exposed here, guys. Her toes are being exposed. And as you can see, there's, like, light shining on them that seems to, like, really highlight them and make them the focal point of the image almost. And people are just, like, really baffled by this because it definitely kind of seems as though Riot seems to be kind of pandering towards a certain Jackson-esque community here.
Nico, do you consider that feet are hot and sexy and I want them all over me?
I've thought about it here and again, and honestly, dude, they're okay. I'd throw them up in, like, C tier, I think.
I think that's where I put them originally.
Yeah. Now, Tanner, as the person who actually put feet in B tier, how do you feel about it?
You know, these ones are just alright, I think. I like that they are, like, proportional. They seem a tad big for her frame, so these are probably like a high C, low B tier feet right here.
Solid review, dude. I'm happy to hear it. Now, there has actually been a second controversy going on with this character. Tanner, could you possibly guess what that could be?
Ooh, I don't know. See, the thing that caught my eye was I'm like, oh, this kind of looks like a Yordle, but she's big. Does that have anything to do with it?
Maybe slightly. Not quite, but a little bit.
Okay.
This has to do with the other community that Jackson's a big part of. There's been a lot of arguments as to whether or not this character qualifies as a lolly.
Interesting, yes.
Yeah, people have been really trying to pick her apart and figure this out. Because personally, I don't really think she does all that much, you know? She's not, like, super kid-like.
Yeah, it's not triggering, like, the lolly alarm in my mind. She looks of age, at least.
I'd put her on the same level as, like, Jinx or Nico.
Yeah, that seems about right.
I think it's those big eyes that people associate with, like, a younger person that maybe is selling it.
I can definitely see that.
Yeah, I definitely don't think... If anything, she's, like, late teen.
Exactly, dude.
Which would make them a hemophile and not a pedophile.
The distinction is very important, guys. It's very important.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm very curious to see what like her attack animations are gonna look like with that big fucking thing attached to her.
The thing I've been wondering is, like, could they figure out a way to put her into the fighting game? Because surely not with that thing on her.
Dude, I would love to see the attempt. It'd just be her, like, swinging her, like, arms side to side, but she has to rotate her whole torso.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be really wacky.
Or, like, exclusively foot attacks. Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. Now we're getting
the answer. It's like the chick from Maggie.
Or, like, Jury from Street Fighter.
Yeah.
That works, too.
Are foot fetishes mainstream?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still definitely, like, something where people hear that someone has a foot fetish and be like, ugh. But, like, from what I've heard from, like, the majority of women who will, like, talk about it, they're like, I mean, like, it's weird, but I wouldn't really care if my guy has a foot fetish.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wish we had just, like, a panel of women available to us to ask stupid questions to.
We need an episode where we just invite a bunch of our female friends on and just, like, constantly pick them about random shit like this.
Maybe.
There we go.
Yeah. I'd love to know what's, like, the weirdest fetish you'd be willing to tolerate in a guy.
I mean, surely there has to be, like, some sort of study on that, right?
Scat.
I don't know.
And if not, Tanner, like, you're constantly interacting with, like, random women out in the streets. Like, surely you can just, like, ask them that.
Yeah, sure, I can tack that on to the very end. Oh, by the way, piss fetish, yes or no?
How do you feel about piss fetish, Tanner?
Honestly, the thing that holds me back from it isn't even, like, me being like, oh, that's kind of gross or whatever. It's just, like, there's cleanup involved, you know?
That's exactly where I thought you were gonna go with it.
Like, you know, cause then you have to be like, oh, I gotta, like, put down a towel, or we have to, like, get in the shower, and
I was just about to say, maybe just spice up shower sex a little bit with it.
Yeah. It's too much setup for too little payoff, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Jackson, thoughts on fucking yellow showers or whatever?
That shit's fucking
golden
gross.
showers, that's the word.
I'm so good without that, dude. Piss stinks. It gets everywhere. It's kind of sticky. Not a fan. It just seems really gross and inconvenient.
Do you default, when you think of a piss fetish, do you default to thinking of guys that are into getting pissed on, or guys that are into pissing on girls?
Yeah, I definitely think guys who are into getting pissed on.
Oh, I think that's it. I think it's guys pissing on chicks.
Yeah, I default to thinking of guys that want to take a piss on someone.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's like a dom thing, I guess. You're under me. I'm pissing on you.
Filthy whore.
Yeah.
What percentage of guys with piss fetishes do you think are actually able to like engage in that versus are like closeted piss guys?
I definitely think it's a much smaller percentage because, like, I don't know, when it comes to stuff like that, generally from what I've heard, it's like a lot of people don't really want to engage in it. Like, one, because, like, you know, they're scared of, like, being humiliated about it or whatever, and, like, their partner will think that they're a freak. But also because it's just, like, the general fear that, like, you're more so into the idea, and, like, if the actual thing happens, then, like, you won't be into it whatsoever, and it'll just, like, ruin it forever for you.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
You know? Yeah.
Do you think you're gonna be trying out the League of Legends fighting game when it comes out in 2030 or whatever the fuck?
Oh, 100%. I mean, like, you know, it's a free-to-play game, so, like, why not? Why not give her a shot?
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be decent enough.
Do you know of any characters you would like to see in the game, Nico?
We've talked about this, like, twice, Tanner.
Have we?
You want to see this new chick.
Womp womp.
Yeah, put Briar in there. There we go. It's my new...
Who?
Briar, that's the new character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's her name.
Her name is Briar? Seems a bit on the nose.
Maybe a little bit.
Yeah. I just look at her, I'm like, oh, they're doing the crazy but hot chick thing again.
Don't they have enough of those? God damn it.
They do have enough. They have enough Harley Quinns. Let's call a spade a spade. That's what we're doing here, eh?
I mean, look, dude, it definitely appeals to a certain demographic, that demographic being me. So, like, I say just, like, keep at it.
Are you actually into, like, the Harley Quinn types?
I mean, yeah, not like Harley Quinn specifically, but there are definitely a fair few of those, like, types of characters who I'm into.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm more of a Vixen guy.
I thought you were gonna say, like, a cheetah, you know?
Oh, yeah. Dude. Why would I not be a cheetah guy? You know what's surprising? I feel like furries aren't that into cheetah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe it's because, like, we've seen, like, a live-action version of that, and it just doesn't... Even though it was, like, realistically portrayed, they're like, oh, that's not how I saw it in my mind, though.
Yeah.
You know, the reality... Like you were saying earlier, the reality of it is not matching the fantasy.
Yeah, I could see that.
Also, maybe it's because Cheetah doesn't have her gaping labia flapping around.
That's always so weird. Like, whenever Jackson, I'm sure, can, like, definitely relate to this. Whenever, like, I'm on, like, N-Hentai or whatever, just, like, scrolling through shit, when, like, the cover image is just, like, some basic-ass thing, but, like, depending on the art style of it, you can definitely immediately tell if it's, like, some really disgusting fetish shit.
Because the art style's really good, right?
Not exactly.
It's hard to describe.
It's definitely hard to describe. It's the kind of thing you kind of just need to get used to. You develop like a sixth sense for it.
Okay.
Yeah, you just take one glance and you're like, okay, yeah, it's definitely gonna be like gore.
Interesting. And
go on, Tanner.
Honestly, I was just kind of making noises. I had a thought, and then I was like, no, that thought doesn't make sense, so go ahead.
Fair enough. Now, on the topic of, like, lollies and shit like that, boys, I have a question here for you real quick. I've noticed this strange phenomenon in the Ben 10 community.
Uh-oh.
Where, like, as you guys may know, people are really horny for Gwen from Ben 10, okay? But,
Of
like...
course, who wouldn't be?
But, like, it's only, like, the one from, like, the original series. It's not, like, the grown-up version. It's just that first one. Why do you think that is?
It's the haircut, dude. They don't like the ponytail on the adult one.
Fair enough, honestly. I could see that.
I think that honestly might be the entire extent of it. Probably
That
the
can't
outfit,
be
too.
it.
I don't know. I think they made her seem a bit too adult in the second version.
God forbid we make a Rule 34 of this adult character.
I forgot what she looked like. I'm looking up now. Yeah, the first one, she looked so fucking young. Oh my god.
Well, she's like fucking 12 or something.
Yeah, 11. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I would love to see like a modern remake of Ben 10 where they do yet another swap a red-haired character for a black person.
Yeah.
That'd be the funniest thing ever. Like, I want movie studios to be fully aware that that is, like, a trend people have noticed and just, like, go full bore into it, do it in completely unnecessary, nonsensical scenarios. Make a live-action version of Brave, but replace all of the characters with black people.
That's what I was just about to say.
That would be funny as fuck. I like literally could not even be like, oh well, I can't believe that would be the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. But make sure they all have Scottish accents still.
Exactly, yes.
That would be literally the funniest thing I've
ever.
ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of that idea. I just really want them to be. I just really want them to be like a completely like self-aware about it. Just like, look, we get it at this point, okay? We're just gonna do it with anything.
I want them to actually like quadruple down and just like, yeah, no, actually, we do hate gingers and we just want them out of the movies.
They're too hard to find in live action. So why bother at this point?
What's another ginger character we can replace? Let's remake all of the Harry Potters and make Ron Weasley black and trans.
There we go. That could be pretty fun.
And like a drag queen too or something.
Yeah, of course.
But Hermione still falls in love with him somehow.
What do you mean somehow?
She belonged with Harry.
You heard it
Isn't it
first.
disgusting how much influence that Brit has had over our culture?
I mean, maybe a little bit.
Doesn't it make you irrationally angry like me?
Look, dude, Emma Watson's a real cutie, so at the end of the day, I don't really care that much.
That's true. Wait up. God damn it. Is Emma Watson British?
I actually don't think she is, no.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
I would have ruined it for her.
I mean, she's out of her fucking mind, but thank God. Didn't she shave her head recently?
Oh shit, hang on, she is British.
God damn it. Are they all? Is Daniel... Wait. Yeah, there's no way a guy with the last name Radcliffe is not British. I think it's probably impossible for that to be the case.
Yeah, unfortunately he's also British.
Yeah. Why do they have such stupid names over there?
I think that it dates back to, like, the Industrial Revolution era.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why exactly, but it does date back to there.
I don't know why or how, but...
It does.
I think the two might be related.
Harry Potter?
Tanner, when are you gonna start picking the Harry Potter movies already?
You know, now that we've brought it up, I do think those probably are some movies that we should check out.
Yeah, I've never seen them except for the second and last one, so...
Interesting. Yeah, I think it'd be worthwhile seeing. Jackson, have you seen any of the Harry Potters?
I've seen none of them.
I like how we still haven't put an MCU movie on the list.
Yeah.
Have we intentionally been avoiding them?
No, we put
No.
the fucking Multiverse of Madness. Is that not MCU?
Oh, well, yeah, but that was before Guapish at the movies was like a thing, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Give Dylan some time. You know full well he's gonna pick one of them.
Yeah.
And by
He's
one of them,
picking
I
that
mean all of them.
We cannot have him make us watch every MCU movie for like a year straight. We can't.
Oh,
We
I mean,
have to
don't
put our
worry.
foot
I
down
was
on that one.
fully... I guess, like, I was fully intending on, like, talking about this, like... after we finish up the Jurassic World movies. But I guess we can just talk about it now. Yeah, I definitely think that a new Guapish at the movies rule needs to be put in place to stop people from just, like, picking the series anymore.
I agree.
I agree.
least just,
Now,
like-
now that I'm done with my series, I agree.
Just, like, you know, back-to-back at the very least. Like, put something between each movie.
Yeah, I think just minimum one in between. The problem is, now that we've said one in between, there has been one in between, so now we're finishing Jurassic Park, but
Yeah, of course.
You can only pick one a month.
yeah, one series, one per series per month. I think that's a fair enough rule.
And no, like, trying to skirt it at all either. Like, you know, if they take part in the same world, then that counts. So you can't hop between, like, fucking
Yeah,
Iron Man and Thor.
Yeah, no. Like, the MCU, we're definitely saying, listen, we're doing one MCU a month. Unless...
Yeah.
Do we even want to say unless multiple people pick it?
I think if multiple people pick it, that's fine.
Okay.
What
Just
about
like one
bribes? Have
person
you
can't
considered
do it.
bribery?
What if that would be so unhinged if that's how far we get into this, where we're like, listen, man, I want to make all the picks.
Yeah,
My
I'm
picks
picking this.
definitely
coming
are
your
for
way.
sale, though.
Listen, I can definitely make it worth your while. If you just make sure to pick Ratatouille next, and I'll definitely grease them wheels of yours.
Okay. $10 and I'll pick Ratatouille.
What was that one fucking mouse movie about, like, the little white mouse who has, like, a needle or some bullshit, and he saves
Oh.
France?
Fuck. I know exactly what one you're talking about.
It's like Far For
It's
the
got-
Great.
No. I'm pretty sure it has like a weird French name.
Yeah.
Fuck. I can't remember. Let me try and find this out, because I remember I saw this in theaters as part of a school trip for some reason.
Oh, it's called The
Anime
Tale of Despereaux, or whatever the
That's
fuck.
right. Tale of Despereaux. And Despero is spelled like, Desper AUEX or some bullshit.
Exactly. I got that movie randomly from my grandparents when they came and watched me in a Little League game.
Okay.
Yeah, afterward they just, like, gave me that movie and were like, here you go, I hope you like it.
I know I've seen this one, but I don't remember a fucking thing about it. Funnily enough, it has Emma Watson in it.
Holy shit.
So we've come full circle.
Tanner, you picking it this week?
No, I'm not gonna pick the Tale of Despero.
Come on, dude. If you're not gonna pick it,
I'm
who
sure
will?
it would be very fun. That's a good question. Who will pick it? Let's see, Emma Watson voiced Princess P. Holy shit, Tony Hale is in it? Anyway, Scorny, okay.
It's got all the big actors.
Yeah, including Matthew Broderick.
Holy shit.
Who doesn't love good old Matthew? Matty B.
It's a wonder that movie was not a cultural touchstone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can't believe it didn't make an impression on the wider cultural landscape.
Yeah. Do you guys think that we should start doing like some director's commentaries for the Guapish episodes?
No.
You mean like dub over old episodes with us commenting on what we are saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Kenda Who Killed Captain Alex.
Yeah.
That'd be really fucking funny, but like I don't know. We'd need to have even the smallest amount of popularity for that to be worth it, I think.
But you see, at this point in the episode, we weren't really sure what to talk about at this point, so we were scrolling through the Guapish topics to try and find something desperately. Eventually, Jackson was able to come up with a pretty good one that spurred on some pretty decent conversation for a while.
Right.
And as you can see, this is where the episode's...
They literally just double the length of each episode for no fucking reason.
Yeah. I think it'd be pretty solid, dude.
It does sound like a aggressively funny idea. I almost want to say take it to like the most extreme possible and do that with like other podcasts as well.
Oh, there we go.
Just like fucking reactions, but to entire podcast episodes.
I mean, that doesn't sound too dissimilar to what most people are doing over on Twitch at this point, so...
Right. People are doing, people do, watch-alongs to movies and shows, so why can't we do real-time reactions to full podcast episodes?
Exactly. It sounds like a pretty, fucking solid idea, I must say.
Yeah. And
I think
there's
we gotta go
literally
through with it,
nothing
guys. We need to get back onto Twitch and really start expanding our empire over there.
Yeah, of course. They're missing us. We're just the quality of content that platform needs.
Exactly. They need a little new blood over there. Alright, Jackson, so... Is he even here still?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, perfect. Jackson! I know that earlier today you were talking about a specific topic that you wanted to bring forward, so what was that again?
Oh man, I really just wanted to let you speak your mind. Just go off, you know? What do you have to say to the world?
Yeah, Nico,
Jackson,
give us your hottest take, Nico.
My hottest take?
Mm-hmm.
Well... Honestly, I think that we should just, give up on pandas and koalas at this point. We need to let them die.
Interesting. I'm 100% with you on pandas. Why do we need to get rid of koalas?
Jackson, bring the copy pasta up.
Oh gosh. Let me pull it up. Nico, you give a short synopsis in the meantime.
Yeah, so here's a little spiel for you, Tanner. They have chlamydia.
Well, so do I.
Huh.
Anyways, I got the copy pasta. The next 5 minutes will be me reading this out until one of you guys stops me. Koalas are fucking horrible animals. They have one of the smallest brain-to-body ratios of any mammal. Additionally, their brains are smooth. A brain is folded to increase the surface area for neurons. If you present a koala with leaves plucked from a branch laid on a flat surface, the koala will not recognize it as food. They are too thick to adapt their feeding behavior to cope with change. In a room full of potential food, they can literally starve to death. This is not a token of an animal that is winning at life. Speaking of stupidity and food, one of the likely reasons for their primitive brains is the fact they, additionally to being poisonous, eucalyptus leaves, the only thing they eat, have almost no nutritional value. They can't afford the extra energy to think. They sleep more than 80% of their fucking lives. When they are awake, all they do is eat, shit, and occasionally scream like fucking Satan. Because eucalyptus leaves hold such little nutritional value, koalas have to ferment the leaves in their gut for days on end. Unlike their brains, they have the largest hind-to-gut ratio of any mammal. Many herbivorous mammals have to cope with harsh plant life taking its toll on their teeth. Rodents, for instance, have teeth that never stop growing. Some animals only have teeth on their lower jaw, grinding plant matter on the bony plates in the top of their mouths. Others have enlarged molars that distribute the wear and break down plant matter more efficiently. Koalas are no exception. When their teeth are rode down to nothing, they resolve the situation by starving to death, because they're fucking terrible animals. This is so much longer than I remember it being. I thought it would be done by now. Dear God. Being mammals, koalas raise their joeys on milk. Admittedly, one of the lowest milk yield to body ratio. There's a trend here. When the young joey needs to transition from rich, nourishing substances like milk to eucalyptus, a plant that seems to be making it abundantly clear that it doesn't want to be eaten, it finds it does not have the necessary gut flora to digest the leaves. To remedy this, the young joey begins nuzzling the mother's anus until she leaks a little diarrhea. Actually, a fecal pap slightly less digested, which he then proceeds to slurp on. This partially digested plant matter gives him just what he needs to start developing his digestive system. Of course, he may not have needed to bother nuzzling his mother. She may have been suffering from incontinence. Why? Because koalas are riddled with chlamydia. In some areas, the infection rate is 80% or higher. This statistic isn't helped by the fact that one of the few other activities koalas will spend their precious energy on is rape. Despite being seasonal breeders, males seem to either not know or care, and will simply overpower a female regardless of whether she is ovulating. If she fights back, he may drag them both out of the tree, which brings us full circle back to the brain. Koalas have a higher than average quantity of cerebral spinal fluid in their brains. This is to protect their brains from injury should they fall from a tree. An animal so thick it has its own built-in special ed helmet. I fucking hate them. There we go. That's the koala copy pasta.
Now, my immediate thought is it possible that all living things native to Australia are naturally stupid? Because
I mean, like,
I'm hearing that
koalas
koalas
lost a war against like emus, so I feel like there's a pretty good chance of that being the case.
Right? Yeah. Because I'm hearing koalas are extremely stupid, and then I'm pretty sure Aboriginals have the lowest average IQ of any ethnic group. So I'm wondering if there's just something about the entire continent of Australia that's causing creatures to become stupid.
I think you're onto something here. I think it's the brain waves.
Yeah, I should message an anthropologist or something and be like, "Hey man, I've got this theory here. Do you think it's possible that Australia produces retards?" It's like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? This is a college. You can't be saying that here.
If Jackson can say hobos, I don't see why you can't say retards.
That's true. They're basically the same thing.
Yeah. You'll insult them on the same level, so I think it's fair game. Do you actually think that if you called a homeless person a hobo, they'd really care?
No.
I don't think homeless people care about much, to be honest. I don't think they have many earthly concerns.
I think most of the time they're insanely high on drugs anyway, so I don't think they'd even recognize you talking to them.
Come on, Jackson, you're generalizing here, dude.
Yeah, Jackson, you're not allowed to say that. They're all down on their luck, and they'd be completely successful had some completely unforeseeable malady had not befallen them.
Yeah.
True. Speaking of homeless people, I don't even know if she's homeless, but Nico, have you seen that chick on the side of the road next to, like, highway, whatever, I'm not going to say it on the podcast, that's always fucking handing out or trying to, like, sell flowers?
Yeah, I see her constantly there.
She's there 24/7, swear to God. She's always just walking up selling people bouquets of flowers. It's crazy. Just like it doesn't look homeless, she's just some chick that's just trying to hustle, I guess, on the side of the road. It's
she
really weird.
She makes $7,000 a week.
She might. She's probably selling them at a crazy price. I'm tempted to like ask her how much they are and then just drive off.
You're like, nah, honestly, too rich for my blood.
Yeah.
Honestly, in this new city I'm in, Greenville, South Carolina, I haven't seen any homeless people.
Really?
It's also incredibly clean here. I've seen, like, one instance of litter on the, like, side of the road. So, shout out to Greenville, I guess.
Why do you think that is, Tanner?
There's like 2 people live there.
They probably execute people who litter or become homeless.
Do you feel like that's a pretty good policy to put into place? Should we expand it to the rest of the U.S.?
I mean, it's clearly working.
Yeah.
So.
But like at the same time, don't you think it's your God-given right to be able to litter?
Nah. Well, that's an interesting point. I guess not, because we have to, we live in a community with other people, and that's public property and blah, blah, blah. If you're just littering in your own yard, yeah, fucking go crazy. But if you're on someone else's property or public property, I think it's fair to restrict your ability to litter.
Okay. An execution seems like a perfectly reasonable punishment for that, correct?
Yeah.
I think reasonable punishments should be judged by their results and not their impact.
Okay. I like your way of thinking, man. I'm a big fan.
Mm-hmm. Like, look at fucking Singapore. They execute you if you, cough too loudly in public, and there's no crime there. So, It must be a good policy.
I'm a big fan of Singapore. I feel like we might need to, move our little business over there instead.
Yeah, let's move our operation over there. Let's completely sell out to the CCP.
Yeah.
We'll become a fucking TikTok podcast where we just upload in 30-minute segments.
Talk about how great China is.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
If anything, I do feel as though we'd get significantly more popular if we did something like that.
Probably,
I don't know if I buy that.
If we legitimately started simping for China, we probably would have more viewers than we currently have, at the very least.
Yeah.
Do we want those viewers, though?
Probably not.
But it could be funny.
Yeah.
It would be funny. We do have that going for us. Speaking of the Chinese, yeah, I don't know how to tie that into the thing. Anyway. Nico, what time is it?
Apparently it's time for Guapish at the movies, it sounded like.
What's a Scooby-Doo? We're coming back for you. We're gonna solve that mystery.
Jackson just did one to lead into Guapish at the movies.
Well, we have to say Guapish at the movies and then do the song.
Or we can do it, afterward. Doesn't really
Nico's gonna
matter.
edit it to make it sound good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm
I
gonna
just think
remix
he
both your
also didn't do a
songs.
song that was recognizable as anything, and then I did a Scooby-Doo
I did that.
thing.
I was trying to do that stupid generic fucking Chinese noise let me try to find it.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about,
You know what I'm trying to go for if you hear it.
Okay.
It's gonna end up being the da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Ying Shong Hang.
Okay, hang on a second there, buddy. Jax, which
Anyway,
movies did we watch this week? What was our big Patreon film?
Our Patreon film this week was Mad Max Fury Road, the 2015 film. I can't remember who picked it. Do you guys remember who picked it?
I don't remember who picked it either.
Unlucky. We'll never know.
I do believe that it was recommended by our wonderful patron.
I want to say it was Jacob Edwards.
I was about to say Jacob Edwards, yeah. Thank you very much, Jacob Edwards, for recommending Mad Max Fury Road. It was a pretty A-plus movie, as one of the Guapish members would put it. As for us other ones, we might not be so kind. Tanner, how'd you feel about Mad Max Fury Road?
Is that you prompting me to do the plot?
Yeah.
Okay.
How'd you feel about the plot of Mad Max Fury Road, which you're about to summarize for us?
Mad Max Fury Road. It starts up kind of like the other Mad Max, where Mad Max is narrating, and I don't remember what he says, but this was much better than the other narration, because this one was much shorter. And, Max, he's out there, he's surviving, he's eating, he's driving, his car gets blown up immediately, again, because that's just the theme of Mad Max, I guess. He's not allowed to have his cool car. He has the coolest car ever, but he's not allowed to drive it. So he gets taken back to this big fucking fortress that's all up in these cliff things, and they got tons of water there. And he's turned into a blood bag, which means he's like a forced blood donor, because he's type O negative, which means he's a universal donor. Mm-hmm. This world is run by... Fuck, what's his fuck? I don't even remember his name. What's the main bad guy's name?
Joe.
Immortan Joe, that's right. It's run by this fucking mutant freak, because he controls the water, so he has all these people worshipping him, and he's got his war boys, which are these young men who are all painted white, or maybe are white? It's unclear.
Just painted.
I feel like we see them get wet and kind of washed occasionally. It never comes off. I think they might be white.
Oh.
But I don't know. Anyway, they send out their war rig to go get some fuel from Gastown. The war rig is driven by our arguably main character, Imperator Furiosa, which is a lady with a shaved head and a big mechanical arm. Nico, was she hot?
No.
Okay. She's driving the war rig down, and then she decides, we're going to take a shortcut. And what we find out is that she has captured the wives of Immortan Joe and is trying to bring them to freedom because they're, like, being forced by him to be breeding slaves because he's trying to create, like... I believe what he's trying to do is create humans who aren't horrifically mutated or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Anyway, they don't want to do that anymore. So she's taking them away, and they're driving, and then the war boys get sent out to catch her, and there's a big fight, and they go in this big dust storm, and it's fucking crazy. And then the forces of Immortan Joe, Gastown, and the Bullet Farm all team up, and they're going to go get these ladies back. And they're running away for a while, and then eventually they meet these old people, and the old people are like, there kind of isn't, like, the place you're trying to go to kind of doesn't exist. So they're like, fuck. And so they turn around, and they're going to kill Immortan Joe and take back over his place. And so they do that, and there's a big car chase, Mad Max battle, and then they make it back, and they take over things, and I guess everything's all good now. The end. I have a feeling.
Next movie.
Yeah, I have a feeling things are not all good given the state of things, but whatever. They killed the bad people, so that's something at least.
Yeah, that's a win somehow. Except for the little baby man, they haven't killed him yet.
I thought those, like, little kids were gonna, like, throw him over the edge or something.
That's what Jackson I thought too.
Yeah, like, they were giving him a look like they're like, oh, the wings of change are here.
Time to get rid of this dude.
But yeah, that is Mad Max Fury Road. Now, this movie, it is an action movie in the purest sense of the word. They do 100%. Not care.
This is the most action-y action movie that we have ever seen on the podcast so far.
Yeah, they truly do not care about, like, having an intricate or even particularly interesting plot or characters or settings, really. They're just like, fucking listen, it's about cars, it's about crazy people, and they're gonna fuck each other up.
But despite that, I still think they did it really well, you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's
like,
fucking
especially
great.
just like the setting of the desert, which you'd think is like fucking, it'd be really boring after quite a while of just, like, you know, non-stop action in a fucking desert. But they managed to do some crazy stuff with it. Like, that big old dust storm is insane. They were able to, like, vary up the environments quite a bit. Like, when it starts raining, they're in that swampy area and shit like that, you know? I'm a big fan of what they were able to do with this, despite, like, you know, it seeming like a fairly limited area.
I think a small little, like, psychological trick they do is that they kind of change the color grading in different sections of the desert. So even if it is still, like, you know, a desert, it kind of fools your brain almost into looking at different, because it's like, oh, this area is a bit more brown, and this area is a bit more orange, and this area is a bit more yellow.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we are going to different locations.
Yeah, it's giving you some sort of sense of progression, so it's not just seeming like it's the same environment at all times. Mm-hmm. Like nothing's actually happening.
Right.
Now, as for the characters themselves, though, so Jackson had some big complaints about our main boy Mad Max, is that correct?
Big complaints. I mean, they just don't flesh him out at all, really. We know he has some past trauma, and that's basically it. Other than that, he's just kind of some fucking stoic guy that kind of acts autistic. That was my takeaway of him. And then he just fucking, like, dips when he could have, you know, like, lived in paradise instead of, you know, just wandering some hellscape.
Yeah, honestly,
he was weird.
I was just gonna say, Max's entire deal now is essentially, he's just a survivor who kind of exists to just witness things happening.
Witness?
Witness?
But yeah, that's definitely correct, Tanner. Yeah, it definitely seems like Max's role, like really even in the previous movie that we watched, you know, Desert Storm, whatever the fuck it was called, Road to Fury, some bullshit that wasn't very good.
Storm. I would love to see the sequel of this be titled Mad Max Desert Storm. That'd be so funny.
even in the previous Mad Max movie we watched, he wasn't like really a fleshed out character whatsoever there either. It really does seem as though Max is more so like kind of just like a vehicle for us to explore this world through, you know?
Yeah, he's basically just like there to have an excuse for the audience to be watching this happening.
Yeah. Which, you know, I don't think is particularly a super bad thing at all, since we do still get some like pretty decent characters in the form of like, you know, Furiosa and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm indifferent to it in the end.
That's pretty funny. My only last thing with Max is he 1,000% should have died from that first crash.
The big ass explosion.
No fucking way. Yeah. But yeah, sure. Let's talk about Furiosa.
I don't want to. I think she's lame and stupid. I don't like her bald ass head.
Anyways, I think Furiosa is just okay.
That's basically what I was saying as well. Yeah, I don't really care about her all that much.
If I had to have a problem, it's that just based on her characterization, I don't know if I believe she'd like risk her life to save these women.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that as well. We don't really get much in the way of like why she's really bothering to do all of this to begin with.
Yeah, and she's like really brutal and untrusting all of the time throughout it. So
yeah,
we kind of just have to take it at face value. Like, listen, she's a woman too.
She warms up to Max really quickly too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was weird to me because he's still just like some random fucking dude that could like was threatening them at gunpoint, and then suddenly when they're trying to go through the past, now they're chill.
Well, see, that's so strange because like I feel like the implication is, oh, she took a liking to these women because she's a woman or something, and then also we're like, oh, okay, she warmed up to Max quickly because they're both like hard ass survivors, but like I feel like if she's doing one, she's not gonna necessarily be inclined to do the other, you know?
Yeah.
Nico, which of the wives were your favorite?
Golly, dude. It's kind of tough. I liked the blonde one who wasn't pregnant. I thought that she was pretty cute.
Okay, the one with the far apart eyes?
Maybe, I don't fucking know. I didn't notice anything like that. I also like the redhead, though, but like not when she had her goggles on and shit. She looked like a completely different character whenever that happened, and Jackson got real confused of where the fuck she came from.
Yeah, pretty much like, who the fuck's this chick? And then we're like, oh, it's this one we already knew.
That's funny.
Yeah, unfortunately, my favorite is the one that got ran over, but you know what? We can't all be winners.
Womp womp.
Yeah, the pregnant one. Jackson has a type.
Gotcha.
If she wasn't pregnant, she would have been a 10 out of 10.
I guess I'd probably go, either the redhead or Zoe Kravitz.
Who?
The black one.
That's what I assumed.
The Catwoman from the new Batman.
Oh.
Have you seen the new Batman?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
I could see her as a Catwoman, though.
Yeah. How do we feel about our antagonists?
Fucking Joe.
Actually, wait. Let's finish off with our protagonist. How'd you guys like Nox?
Who?
The war boy.
Oh yeah, I thought that he was neat.
Yeah.
I think him like kind of turning to their side was weird, and just kind of came honestly, out of nowhere.
I find him probably the most compelling character in terms of like an actual character arc in this movie.
I definitely do agree, but at the same time I do kind of feel like him just like being crumpled up on the ground and then like one of these girls sent a couple nice things to him being pretty strange. Also the fact that she was like even talking to him to begin with and not immediately being like, holy fuck, there's one of them on board, we need to murder him now.
Yeah, right? They're all very accepting and chill.
Well, I think they all kind of understand that he was, like, just as brainwashed as they were.
But how do they know that he's not brainwashed anymore? Why would she even, like, go through the effort of approaching him like that?
I think they were just kind of believing that they could, like, make him see the errors of his ways or, like, stop believing in Morton Joe, you know?
Why would they risk that?
I don't know. They're women.
Fair enough.
Honestly.
But I definitely did like his character arc the most out of like anyone else in this film, since like, you know, he actually like, you know, really gets one, I guess. Like his death, when he says "witness me," putting that phrase into a whole new context, I think it was really sweet. I was a big fan of that. The follow-up explosion I wasn't as big of a fan of, which goes into a couple of my complaints that I have. But other than that, I really enjoyed it.
You didn't like, what did you not, did you not like how it like slow-moed and had the fucking wheel come at us in like 3D?
Yeah, that gross-ass Spy Kids 3D looking-ass wheel. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that. Yeah, so, understandably, this is a really long movie. It uses some pretty extensive effects, so not everything is going to look super great, but at the same time, there are definitely like a few things here and there that really took me out of it in terms of the effects. One of the other like big parts was like, very early on in the movie, we see fucking Joe like talking to all his little subjects. Like, pretty much every shot of him there did not look very good at all. I think it might have just been like the light in his hair or something, but it just looked really bad and out of place.
Speaking of Immortan Joe,
I hated him. He's a big fat gross guy. Ew.
Yeah. So an effective antagonist, you would say.
Exactly.
Honestly,
I gotta say, one thing that I was a big fan of in this movie is that they just got like some real fucking freaks everywhere in it. I really liked that. They really made this feel like a gross post-apocalyptic world that I would not want to be a part of.
Right. What were you gonna say, Jackson?
Dude, I was gonna say I think it's bullshit he didn't die in the first car crash.
Fair enough.
That's my only thing.
Tanner, what do you think the casting was like for this movie, trying to like find those freaks?
I can only assume that there's like a specific agent for like disabled actors.
Yeah.
And that guy was just fucking rolling in it when they made this movie.
Yeah, I wouldn't imagine that these types of actors really come up super often in need.
Yeah. They're actually 50% of the online posts asking for a sequel to this movie.
They just want to get paid again. Yeah, I wouldn't imagine that like little baby dude is like really, really super active generally.
What's funny is I feel like I've seen him before though.
Really?
I feel like I recognize him, but I don't know where from or how.
Little known fact, that's actually Peter Dinklage.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
I like the aesthetic of our villains, where it's all like all the white and whatever, and Immortan Joe is like all white. The fucking war boys are like ghastly painted white. I thought that looked really good, especially since a lot of the scenes that they're then set in are like colored in such an I don't know, expressive way, I suppose.
Yeah, it just really makes them stand out a lot more.
Yeah, I do think that's a pretty big credit, because like the action scenes in a lot of places have like a lot of moving parts, but it's pretty easy to keep track of everything.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you guys have a favorite action scene from this?
Not particularly. One that does stand out in my mind, though, is just like those parts where they have like them fucking big old poles on the cars and shit like that. We just have like dudes swinging off of them. I thought those was pretty sweet.
That was pretty cool. I kind of like the dirt bike part, where it's like this clearly like very small, scrappy band of not raiders, but like bandits, and they're like, okay, listen, we have vehicles that are like very specifically adapted for this terrain, and this is where we're just gonna hang out.
I did think it was fucking crazy during that part though, where the dude fucking gets onto the car and is like, what are you doing? We had a deal, even though like his men were the ones who fucking shot at them and caused them to run away. That was real wacky. Alright, in terms of other things, boys, do we have any other notes for Mad Max?
Were those guys in the spiky cars, did those seem like fucking, did they sound like Russian to you?
I didn't really take particular note of it, no.
Gotcha.
Alright, cool. And with that, we are going to be moving on to our ratings here, boys. So, Dylan gave this movie an A+. An A+. Does that sound about right to y'all?
In terms of like a Dylan ranking? Or
no, just in terms of a rating in general. How does that feel to you guys?
I'm giving it an A- myself, so it's relatively on par.
Oh, and I'm going to be giving it an A, so it sounds like we're all pretty lined up there pretty well. Now, Tanner, you're going to be giving this movie an S+, is that correct?
No, I'm giving it an S-.
Okay.
Oh, I do have one other negative to throw in there to further explain why it's a minus and not higher for me. Aside from, like, the rock stuff, I feel like the music is unbelievably generic in this film.
That's fair enough. I could see it. And with that, Jackson, what rating is this film getting?
That puts that in A+.
All right.
That's a solid enough rating for Fury Road, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. Are there sequels to this one, or is it just this?
No.
It's just this one so far. I don't know. The guy who directed this one, he's the same guy that directed all of the old ones. He's pretty fucking up there in age. So I think he's basically said, I would like to do another one, but...
I'm gonna fucking die before it gets done in production.
Right. I do know this one was in development for like fucking ever.
Understandable. What was the budget for this film?
I think it was something insane, to be honest. Let me see if I can grab that. Fury Road budget. Budget.
$1.50.
$1.50. Fury Road was estimated to be around $185 million.
Sounds about right.
With box office earnings of around $375 million.
Fair enough to me.
Interesting. The film was a box office disappointment and lost between $20 and $40 million.
Jesus.
Warner Brothers claims. Yeah, Warner Brothers claims that production on Fury Road significantly exceeded the approved budget. Interesting. Well, we might not be getting the sequel then.
Unfortunate.
Oh well, it made up some. What the fuck? I'm getting some conflicting information, but alas.
In terms of our next film, Jackson, which one are we going to be starting off with first? We're going to be starting with the sequel, perhaps?
No,
get a little crazy.
Thankfully, it doesn't really fucking matter because the films are pretty independent. But yeah, we're talking about the first live-action Scooby-Doo film.
They're finally here, everybody. We're finally talking about Scooby-Doo. You can stop leaving comments about every single week asking Jackson to finally pick Scooby-Doo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the 2002 film. The basic TLDR of the plot is that the gang splits up after they continuously have like failures during their whatever shenanigans trying to uncover the mysteries of ghosts or whatever. And then they all get invited to an island, which is haunted or something. We don't entirely know, but they're all invited to this island separately. They all then come together onto this island to try to like solve the mystery of what's going on with like people acting weird. Turns out there's basically, it's not alien, but they're like some monster race or something that's like taking over the bodies of people. Like
they're demons.
Taking over their souls or some shit. And the gang comes together to stop that from happening. It turns out that Scrappy-Doo was the leader of all of this for some fucking reason, in some like human costume of Mr. Bean. And yeah, they solved the mystery. All the demons die because they're not good in the sun. And that's it, basically. And then it's done, and the movie's over.
All right, now, we've talked a lot about films like really feeling like a time capsule in various ways. Like, you know, we've had like the fucking Fast and the Furious, we've had like the Digimon movie in terms of like music and shit. But this movie like really encapsulates the fashion of the time.
Fred is so fucking old.
It took me a second to realize that. Yeah, Nico was commenting about that from the very start. Old?
That's something I pointed out while we were watching the movie.
Rest of the crew.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus Christ, why does Fred look like he's fucking 40 years old? What's up with that? Jackson didn't have any idea what he was talking about until like he really got a good look at him, and then, oh boy, did Jackson come on over my way.
I still think he's pretty well cast. I can't complain.
You know,
Shaggy as well, honestly, looks very old for the sort of character they're trying to portray. How old are they supposed to be in this movie?
This is definitely supposed to be like they've been doing this for a long while, so I'd say mid to late 20s.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Which, like, if that's the case, maybe they should have found someone a little bit younger for those two.
Perhaps.
Velma and Daphne look fine, though.
Shaggy did a very good job. He was a standout actor for me, at the very least, so
Shaggy did do a good job. He's a good Shaggy. That's why they keep using him in everything. Here's a major sort of a meta problem I have with this movie, and by extension, almost every Scooby-Doo movie.
Yeah.
The entire point of every version of the Scooby-Doo show is that monsters are not real, and that's always some kind of scam, and that the supernatural isn't real and whatever. And I feel like in a solid chunk of all the movies, live action and animated, they decide, well, if we're making a movie out of the show, obviously we have to make the supernatural real now.
Yeah.
Which I think just isn't in the spirit of what this fucking series is supposed to be.
Yeah, what if Scooby-Doo, but the monsters really do exist?
Exactly. It's dumb.
I mean, I definitely get where you're coming from. It's not like that big of an issue for me personally, though. With this movie in particular, my bigger issue is just like the monsters look fucking horrendous. Like they are just vile.
You know what I was gonna say is the monsters do not blend in at all. You at no point are like, okay, these are like well done CG creatures that like blend into the scenes they're in. They're always like lit differently.
Yeah.
Than their entire surroundings. For some reason, it worked for me. Where I was like, okay, yeah, these are like crazy monsters that look like they don't even fit in reality.
They're otherworldly beings. They
exactly,
shouldn't look like
yeah.
they exist.
They look like fucking
Digimon.
Rankin and Bass like creatures.
I could see it. Now, Tanner,
Yeah.
one big question I do have for you. Are you more of a Velma or Daphne guy?
With this specific incarnation, I'll go Velma.
Okay. How about, like, generally, though?
I think generally I'm probably a Daphne.
Damn. Can you explain why to us, Tanner? Because Jax and I just don't really get it.
I mean, the whole point of her is to be hot, so like...
Velma?
Oh, did I say Velma?
Yeah.
Oh, I meant in general Daphne.
Okay, gotcha.
In this version, Velma.
Okay, gotcha. Happily we sussed that one out.
Right,
Yeah,
of course.
I've never really understood it for the most part. I'm definitely more of a Daphne kind of guy.
I think the Velma hype is just because, you know, it's weird repressed internet nerds and they're like, oh, she's just like me.
She's hiding a real dumpy under all that.
Mm-hmm. That too.
She's like a slightly chubby nerd, so she must have like fucking massive knockers.
Yeah, that's...
She wants to analyze my sperm under a microscope.
Jesus. What the fuck? Hey girl, you want to see
That's
my
what they're thinking, dude. That's what
ectoplasm?
they're all thinking. Now, in terms of the actual film, though, can you guys believe they cast Mr. Bean in this shit?
You know, honestly, it was weirding me out hearing his, like, voice and it not be, like, some stupid fucking, like, you know, like a stupid fucking voice.
Yeah.
He just sounds like a normal dude. Honestly, I can't remember. Did he even have a British accent?
I don't remember, Jackson, do you?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Let's assume he didn't.
crazy. He's truly an actor of all time.
Yeah. Allegedly, from what I've heard, a lot of people think that like British actors are able to pull off an American accent much better than Americans are able to pull off a British accent. Do you guys feel like that tracks?
No, I have no evidence of either. I don't care.
I think the thing is, whenever we hear a British person speaking in a quote-unquote American accent, I don't think we ever think, oh, that's like my kind of American accent. We're just like, oh, sure, that's an American accent.
Okay.
I don't know which one, but
That's fair enough.
I think it's just because we like, I don't think, since we're a bigger country, I don't think we have as much exposure to, you know, each other's different accents, like, across our geography. Whereas in Britain, they're all closed in together, that when an American tries to do a British accent, they're like, that doesn't sound anything like a Gloucestershire accent. Or whatever the fuck. Those goofy fucks.
Those goofy little men.
Anyway, the plot in this movie is fucking stupid.
Oh yeah, it's pretty dumb.
It's dumb and bad and not really good.
But Jackson, Tanner, didn't you get like a nice nostalgia blast watching it?
A little bit. Some of the hijinks hijinks and the misadventures, if you will. I got some nostalgia, but ultimately, it's empty calories, you know.
How was the hilarity that was ensuing?
The hilarity that was ensuing, when it did ensue, it ensued pretty hard, but I don't know if it was ensuing all of the time.
Okay. Sorry, Jackson just sent me a fucking crazy message.
Yeah, I sent myself a reminder like last week, and I don't think the text-to-speech heard me properly, or the speech-to-text, I guess, heard me properly. So it wrote down swap maze with Nico. I don't know what the fuck it's trying to get me to swap with him, but it had something to do with the podcast, and I forgot, and the reminder did not help. So unlucky.
Huh.
Oh well.
We'll never
Rather
know.
strange.
Oh, it was mics. That's what it was. We were gonna swap microphones to see if you sounded like ass with mine.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oops. Oh,
Next time.
Yeah, I set myself another reminder.
Jackson, do you have any thoughts? What are your thoughts on this movie, rather?
Yeah, the plot's pretty nonsensical and stupid. The acting's okay. It definitely feels like a time capsule. CG is fucking horrible. Pretty pointless overall. Comedy was funny in some places, but most of the time it was pretty boring. That's about it. I was very let down, to be honest. I mean, I didn't really expect much going into this movie, and I literally only picked it for nostalgia. But yeah, it really didn't sit with me at all.
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, what did you really expect going into this shit?
Not much, and it under-delivered. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I remember as a kid being kind of, like, scared by, like, the intro clown part.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like I like the clown part to start more than the rest of the whole fucking movie, which is unfortunate.
To be fair, that clown design was really fucking creepy.
It was.
Now, one question I do have for you guys. So, like, you know, in terms of, like, things that, like, really scared you as a child and, like, media and shit like that, can you, like, really think of anything that comes to mind immediately?
The next movie.
Okay.
I can't really think of anything that, like, super scared me as a child.
Okay, gotcha.
Waxworks.
Yeah, because when, like, Jackson brought that up, that he was, like, really spooked of that clown, it reminded me of, like, this fucking iceberg video I watched recently where it was, like, things that scarred us all as children, where it's just, like, talking about, like, various, like, children's media where, like, something spooky would happen that, like, apparently scared a lot of people. And I just, like, really wasn't a big fan of that video, you know? Because, like, he was too understanding of people's fears as children, of, like, things that scarred them. Because he'd bring up things where it's like, in this one episode of My Little Pony, Pinkie Pie makes this really weird face, and that scared a lot of people. And you know what? I get it. Like, I can see why someone gets scared of this. And fucking... don't pander to these dumbasses, okay? Tell them that they're pussies, alright? Like, we all had those moments. We all had things that we were terrified of as small children. And, like, yeah, looking back on it, we were fucking pussies. Just tell them that. Don't try and, like, you know, be even-handed about this shit. Tell them how it is.
Lay down the fucking law.
Yeah. I was terrified of this one character from VeggieTales growing up, and you know what? Looking back on it, I don't think it was that creepy at all, and I just think I was being a little too sensitive as a tyke.
What character?
We've talked about this before. It was fucking in, like, the Anastasia movie, where there was, like, this Grim Reaper-looking dude who, like, had a feather, and he would tickle people and bring them to Tickle Island.
Ah, yes, of course.
Yeah.
You were just afraid of Jeffrey Epstein.
Exactly. And with that, guys, I'm thinking we should move on to the rankings here. Now, of course, Dylan isn't here right now, but he watched the movie, and his rating for this film, guys, was a heckin' C+.
Okay.
Now, compared to you, Tanner, how's that looking?
I'm gonna give Scooby-Doo 2002 a flat C.
A flat C. Huh.
It's okay, you know. It's you know, it's just a thing, you know. Damian Lillard and Scooby. You know, I'll give one more piece of positive praise. I feel like I've been pretty negative, which might not justify my ranking right now. I do like how they treat Scooby-Doo like a cartoon. Still, they let him do like cartoon physics and shit. I thought that was enjoyable.
I can see that. However, at the same time, the CGI sucks ass, and I didn't like it. I'm giving this movie a D.
I thought Scooby, I don't know. I feel like Scooby worked for me, personally.
Honestly, I don't think Scooby himself even really looked that bad. Like, they definitely put a lot of effort into the actual, like, animation of it. It's just, you know, the technology wasn't fully there at the time. But yeah, I'm giving this movie a D+.
Crazy.
And that makes it a C- overall.
Nice.
Now,
Sounds about right.
Scooby-Doo 2, on the other hand, Monsters Unleashed, oh boy.
You describe it.
I don't want to. Jackson, you describe this one as well.
You're the only one who hasn't described anything, Nico.
I didn't pick this fucking movie. This is not my pick. Don't put this on me.
Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. This is a film in which the gang decides, you know what? We've been doing pretty good. We're gonna open up this big old museum to show off like all these great old accomplishments that we've done. But things don't go quite as planned for them because the monsters that are in this museum come to life, and now they're out to get them. Yeah, so apparently like one of their old villains who got locked away, he's back, and he's like not really he's not really content with the mystery gang being held up as like these big old heroes. So he's just trashing them in the media and shit. Meanwhile, the gang needs to get to the bottom of this and figure out, why are these monsters being unleashed? Why are they real? What's going on? So eventually they'll track them down to a factory where more hijinks ensue, and they figure out, oh boy, he's using some bullshit to make these monsters come to life. There's a goo monster or something? What's going on with that? He's made of tar? There's this weird-ass looking electricity monster? What the fuck? And at the end of the day, Scooby's eventually able to like do some shenanigans and like blow up their reactor or whatever the fuck that makes the monsters no longer real. And they're able to figure out that, holy shit, the guy who was like doing all this and making the monsters come to life, he was the guy we thought it was. What? And then the movie ends.
Crazy. So this one, like, triple quadruples down on goofy, nonsensical nonsense.
Yes. Which I think is the right choice, because that's what it's supposed to be. It's just some fucking silly, stupid horror movie that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. And despite there being like significantly more monster designs in this one, they look exponentially better than the previous ones did.
Right.
Yeah, it's actually, like, watchable.
Did they have a door gag in this one?
No, I don't think
Did they have it even in the last one?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't
What the
think they
fuck?
did.
How do you make a live action Scooby-Doo and not have a door gag?
I feel like when we were watching one of these movies, I mentioned the door gag thing to Nico, so I feel like there was one, actually. But I don't know where it is, which one it was. So I feel like I remember talking about door gags with him.
I definitely don't remember ever seeing one in any of those movies, no.
We'll never know. It's a crime not to include one in the Scooby-Doo film, though.
Do you think searching Scooby-Doo door gag will help me? I don't think it is.
No, I highly doubt it.
There's a lot of articles on the Scooby-Doo doors. It's interesting.
Is Scooby-Doo where that gag originated from?
Interesting. That's a good question. Huh. They definitely do it in the original series, which dates back to the 60s.
I actually believe it originated from the Flintstones, though.
Right. Huh.
We'll never know.
I really could not say, Jackson. I feel like there is a good chance that it originated from Scooby-Doo, though.
Quick, Nico asked ChatGPT.
Yeah, 100% originated from Scooby-Doo.
Were you already looking it up?
This is a Scooby-Doo hallmark, 100%.
Good to know. That Scooby-Doo has been so prolific throughout many, many different forms of media. I feel like I see that in anime relatively often, which is pretty funny.
Now, Tanner, did they swap out the actress for Velma in this movie?
No, it was Linda Cardellini in both.
No,
Okay.
she's always just been that hot. Figure it out.
Yeah, how'd you like Seth Green, though? He was, like, by far the most, like, famous actor in this film, shockingly.
Eh.
Okay.
I didn't know
I'm sorry.
who the
Can
fuck
you
he was prior to this.
You
Tanner,
cut
how'd you
out
like
there
Seth
for
Green
me.
in this film?
He made almost no impression on me, to be honest.
That's pretty normal.
He's barely
for Seth
in
Green.
it, to be honest.
Yeah. He's there to feel like a rapist in a few scenes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Alright, Tanner,
okay. Sorry, I was researching. It does not originate from Scooby-Doo, but Scooby-Doo definitely popularized it.
Where's it come from?
Some French movie bullshit.
I hate the
You should have
French.
never looked this up. That's tainted the entire memory of Scooby-Doo.
You're
God
right.
damn it.
God damn it. Schoolboy Dooba.
Now, Tanner, who was your favorite monster in this film who got unleashed?
I feel like it's easily the skeleton guys.
Why?
They're the funniest.
Why is it easily them too?
They were so
I think they're
funny
just
and so
the
silly.
goofiest and the most enjoyable to be watching, like, interacting with the characters.
Yeah.
They were pretty silly and funny, and I loved them.
They were pretty silly. The entire time that, like, they were fucking chasing after the folks, though, I was like, why are these the guys you're scared of? They're significantly greater threats than these two knuckleheads.
Right. Who was your favorite?
The fucking lightning monster was absolutely bonkers and unsettling to me. Like, I don't know what it is about his design, but it's just, like, really off-putting.
It's him going, yow, really loud.
I think that it's the fact that, like, he's a lightning monster. It's also, like, fat for some reason. It's like, you don't expect that.
Yeah, it's like Electabuzz.
Yeah, you'd think that, like, something that's, like, made out of electricity would be, like, you know, like, real stringy and shit like that, you know? Not, like a big fat dude.
Yeah, of course. Who would ever
There's a
suspect such a thing?
I'm just telling it as it is, man.
I do like how they point out the fucking trope of Scooby-Doo where, like, a lot of the monsters are just substance and then the word ghost.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's the tar ghost.
It's the cotton candy ghost.
It kind of just shows that people in the world of Scooby-Doo do not know what ghosts are.
Mm-hmm. Some of these I'd classify as like a Babadook or something, personally.
Mm-hmm. Or a Wendigo, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
If we're gonna keep doing this thing where it's like, oh, Scooby-Doo movies are where they encounter real stuff, let's have them fight a Wendigo.
There we go.
Let's get them into some real shit, you know?
Yeah, or like a Skinwalker.
Yeah. Skinwalker butchers and then impersonates Scooby-Doo and slowly picks them off one by one. That'll be my rated R Scooby-Doo movie.
That'd be funny.
How long till
When does
Scooby-Doo is in the public domain?
I was just about to ask, like, when does he enter the public domain?
I feel like I've been Googling things a lot this episode, so I don't know.
Stop doing it, Tanner. We talked about this.
Enter the public domain. I know, but like we need information. I'm a digital boy.
It brings like everything to a halt, though. Sounds like at least 2059.
2059. Fuck.
Yeah. So it's a ways out right now.
That's tragic. Anyways, if we're still around at 2059, let's make our rated R Scooby-Doo gang meets the Wendigo. That'd be great. We like title it like how they fucking title those movies too. Scooby-Doo and the Wendigo.
Scooby-Doo and Dwayne The Rock Johnson take on the Wendigo.
Yeah. Scooby-Doo in the Wendigo Woods.
Surely we have to like partner with WWE Raw or something like that, right? Modern Scooby-Doo movies love doing that shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyways, what were we talking about before we touched on that?
Jackson's favorite ghost in the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, as a kid, it was the tar monster. As an adult, it's still the tar monster. That was honestly the one that left the most impression on me. I was terrified of the tar monster as a child. And that also reminds me of the opening sequence, the pterodactyl flying through the city. As a child, that fucking horrified me. I hate watching kids scare the shit out of me. And then watching it now, I was like, what? How could this possibly scare me? Don't understand.
We all had dumb little things that scared us as children, apparently except for Tanner.
Yeah, I just I'll randomly remember it at some point this week, and I can mention it to you guys.
You were too preoccupied with eating dog food back then. You couldn't pay attention to the screen. It fried your brain. And with that, boys, do we really have much else to say about Monsters Unleashed?
Yeah, I think it's pretty similar to the first one in structure, but it just has, better CG, and I think it's just slightly better overall, for my opinion.
Yeah. I'd say it's like slightly improved in just about every conceivable way, to be honest.
Yeah. That sounds about right to me. However, Dylan apparently thought very differently because he thought this movie was exponentially better than the first one. He gave an A-.
I feel like he mistyped or something. Like, he meant to put B-, because there's just no way. Like, I'm gonna ping him right now and just ask.
What do you mean? What? Yeah. What do you mean? Is it a typo? What?
It was a much better movie. What can I say?
It was listen, he is, at the very least, relationally speaking, he has gotten these movies in the correct order.
Yes, correct.
Nico,
But
what
at the
did you
same
give this
time,
movie?
like an A-. Compared to
You're
me...
giving it an A- too? I'm funny.
Yeah, this movie definitely gets an A-. I'm with Dylan on that one. I'm going to be giving it a C-, I think. A C- feels good.
Okay.
All right, he just confirmed his A- ranking.
Confirmed A-. I will be giving it a B-.
Yeah, I'm giving it a C- as well. And that puts it at a C+.
Nice.
So,
Good
yeah,
enough, I guess. Good enough.
Seems about
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And speaking of good enough, Jackson,
Hi.
are you going to do it, dude? You're going to roll that dang old Patreon for us to find out what we're watching next week?
Oh, I'd love to. Let's get her done.
Since
we're
Dylan
watching
isn't here,
Groundhog
that means
Day.
we're doing 4 movies, right?
Unfortunately, that's not what it means. No.
I feel like that's the rule we established.
No.
But it'd be badass, man. I think we should do it because I want to request a movie too.
No, I don't think so.
What was the rule we said?
It was like if Dylan didn't watch the movies.
Well, he still hasn't watched Cleopatra, so clearly we're not adhering to that rule.
Well, then Dylan just wouldn't get a vote whatsoever on what movies we're watching at that point. He's still picking the movies, so, like, we're not all
Okay.
picking something. And Tanner, you also pick something either way here, so, like, it doesn't really matter that much.
That's true. That's fine enough. Nico, what are you picking?
What are you picking, Tanner?
Fuck. What do I want to pick? You know what? What are we watching? Groundhog Day? That's like
Yeah.
what is that? A rom-com?
No.
I don't. What is it? A comedy?
I mean, like a little bit. It's more of a psychological thriller, though.
It is not a psycho. Shut the fuck up. I'm gonna choose. Fuck it. I'll just do the one at the top of my list. I'm gonna choose Mars Attacks.
I see, okay. I'm gonna be honest, Tanner, that kind of falls in line with what I was expecting you to pick. I really thought you were gonna pick, I just completely fucking blanked on it. Jackson, what was it? What did I say he was gonna pick?
I don't fucking know.
Little
That
Shop
movie-
of Horrors, that's what it was. I
Yeah.
definitely thought you were gonna pick Little Shop of Horrors.
What? Why? Because there was a recent Red Letter Media episode about it.
That's exactly what I thought, yes.
I will say the Red Letter Media episode is what triggered me to add Mars Attacks because I've never seen it.
I see, okay. It's all correlated. I, on the other hand, am going to be picking something that we talked about in this episode, actually. I'm going to be picking our very first MCU movie, boys.
Oh my gosh! What a coincidence.
It's going to be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Whoa!
Yeah. Now, Tanner, you've
can't
never
wait.
seen this one, correct?
I have seen it now.
Oh, okay.
It was a couple months ago.
God damn it, dude.
Womp
I was
womp.
hoping to get your first impression of it.
Oh well. I still haven't seen the third one.
Fair enough, dude, fair enough. I'm not picking the third one, though. It's the first one with Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
I don't know why they recast him in all the movies afterward, but say la vie. That'll be a conversation for later. For now, though, boys, Tanner, you like to tell people about the Patreon?
I'm gonna be honest, my roommates are talking right now, so I feel like someone else should do the read down while I have my mic muted.
Alright, fair enough, I suppose, fair enough. Well, everybody, thank you very much for watching this episode of Guapish, Rule 34. As always, you can always ring and ding that bell, like, comment, subscribe, as well as go on over to the Patreon, folks, where you can get a bunch of little special things. Like, you get access to the pre-guap, you get early access to every episode, you get access to our Discord as well, guys, access to the Discord, where you'll be able to request movies as well as topics that we can talk about during the main episode. And, of course, who can forget, you get 500 slime coins. Can you believe it? 500 slime coins. And for your final little cool thing that you get your name read out during the episode, just like I'm going to do now. Thank you to our patrons, Raheem Rajawani, Kyler Nikolai, Certified Hebefowl, Topperman Man, Joshua Bean, Macho Man Retard Savage, Tutbot, Lucas Lidette, Hunter, and Jacob Edwards. I especially love you, Joshua Bean. And as always, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.